Yeah, I believe it's quarterly.
Crazy.
Whatever, I'm not gonna sweat the small stuff.
I might actually.
Hey, Mayor, we're ready.
Something I saw.
Ready whenever you are.
Okay. Let's call this meeting to order. City of North Kansas City, Missouri, regular council meeting, May 2nd, 2017. Can we have a moment of silence? Fred? Okay. The Shoto and Native American Heritage Foundation proclamation. Eric?
Thank you, sir. And with us tonight are Keith Nelson and Dick Davis from the Shoto Fountain Founders. And I'd like to read this proclamation, resolution of appreciation honoring them, and the effort that they're going through to build a new fountain to recognize the history and the heritage of this particular area. Whereas the city of North Kansas City, a thriving 105-year-old community celebrating its historic centennial in 2012, and whereas the great state of Missouri will celebrate its bicentennial August 10th, 2021, and whereas the city of North Kansas City values its rich history and acknowledges the contributions of early settlers in laying the foundation for a successful and welcoming city, and whereas one of the first and foremost pioneers in the area, Francois Chateau, established its first trading post in 1821 along the banks of the Missouri River on land that is now considered the city of North Kansas City. And whereas culture, history, and art are essential elements of a thriving city, and Francois Chateau and his Native American trading partners were essential in creating profitable avenues for commerce and cultural exchange. And whereas to honor Chateau and his Native American trading partners, a group of dedicated local volunteers known as the Chateau Fountain Founders are seeking regional support to build an educational and historical fountain monument to include 3 8-foot bronze statues of Chateau and 2 Osage Nation Indians standing atop an 8-foot waterfall overlooking a man-made riverscape in front of a picturesque tree-lined portion of Buckeye Creek along Chateau Parkway. And whereas it takes a strong and sustained effort to raise awareness and funds to build and maintain a long-term cultural asset such as this fountain monument, now therefore be it resolved that the city of North Kansas City acknowledges and supports the efforts of the Chateau Fountain Founders to create an educational, historical, and cultural attraction for our greater community to enjoy. Be it further resolved that this resolution be part of the official records of the city, and a copy thereof, signed by the mayor, be presented to the Chateau Fountain Founders as a means of honoring their tireless efforts to permanently capture a significant time in our history. Done this 2nd day of May in the year of 2017, Don Stilo, Mayor. So, gentlemen, Mr. Mayor, you might want to come forward and present it to them and get a picture. So it might be you want to go in front and take it towards the.
Come on, Don. Get there.
Could I take just a minute here? And I want to express my thanks to the city council, the city of North Kansas City. You know, I think it's really unique when you think about it. We're all excited about your new development down here in Marody being a anchor store for your new new development and just think back about 200 years ago when Francois Choteau showed up here. He established fur trading posts somewhere between Cerner and Harrah's on Rock Creek, where there was a natural outcrop there, started these fur trading posts. It was the first European settlement in Clay County. So North Kansas City has the distinction of having the first settlement and also the start of commerce for North Kansas City, and not just commerce, international trade, because these furs was traded with the Native Americans. They'd go down the Missouri River, down the Mississippi to New Orleans, over to Europe. Boatloads of goods would come back and come to the fur trading post to be traded with the Native Americans. So we're real excited about building this fountain so we can celebrate history, and a great educational tool for our North Kansas City School District to bring their children here to view our past 200 years ago. So once again, thank you very much for this proclamation.
Thank you.
As you probably know, I'm Dick Davis, a former councilman of Kansas City, Missouri, and I think the thing that just most impresses me about this is you are willing to take the leadership and support a project that supports the Northland, not within your city limits, but one that's to your neighbors. So thanks so much. I think it's a great act of intergovernmental cooperation.
We want to thank you, gentlemen, for volunteering to try to put this thing together. Thank you. Okay. Missouri Local Government Week proclamation. Eric?
Well, thank you, sir. This is Local Government Week, and we've done a couple of things just tonight to help celebrate Local Government Week. We had some refreshments in the back and still do for anybody who might like them. Earlier tonight, we had a Touch a Truck event where we had some of our larger vehicles out in the parking lot for the public to view and climb around on if they wanted and enjoy. And a little bit later, we have a further presentation during staff comments for Local Government Week. But I'd like to read a proclamation at this time honoring what we all do in service to the public. Whereas local government is the backbone of our democracy and the bedrock of our political system, and a testimony to liberty, freedom, and the right to elected self-government. And whereas citizens of Missouri rely upon local governments to deliver essential community services such as clean water, police, and fire protection. And whereas the continued success of our local governments in meeting the needs of our citizens is a key element in maintaining the overall quality of life in Missouri. And whereas the rich tapestry of local governments in Missouri is represented by thousands of hardworking citizen officials, many of whom serve without compensation. And whereas through education and awareness, the importance of local governments can be communicated to citizens, state legislators, and the news media. And whereas recognition of local government's accomplishments will give North Kansas City residents a better understanding of how essential local services are provided. And whereas celebrating Local Government Week focuses attention on the need for strong, independent, and active local government in this state, and recognizes the valuable contributions made by residents serving their communities in public office. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Don Stilo, Mayor of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri, do hereby proclaim April 30th to May 6th, 2017 as Local Government Week. Witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri, the 2nd day of May, 2017. Mayor Don Stilo. Thanks.
Comments from the public? Well, hearing none, let's move on to the consent agenda.
I move the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, number 15.
City Facilities Cleaning Contract, Resolution Number 17-036.
Eric?
Thanks, sir. Last July, the city entered into a contract for janitorial services with a company to provide janitorial services for City Hall, the police station, the North Kansas City Library, and Parks and Recreation. Unfortunately, the service that company provided did not meet our expectations, and so we did put this service out to bid again recently, and we did receive bids on April 12th, 2017. The responses are indicated in the memo that's in your packet. As you can see in the memo, Hygienes one of the companies that happens to be a North Kansas City business, submitted the lowest price for City Hall and the Police Department. They did not supply the lowest price for Parks and Recreation or the library, but those funds are separately governed. They do have their own budgets. And so I asked the directors of each of those departments for their input as to who they might be, would like to see have the cleaning contract. Both of them indicated that they would like to see Hygiene's, even though that might be in a little bit more for them than the low bidder. So accordingly, now before you is a resolution approving a contract with Hygiene's. They did serve as our provider of janitorial services from 2010 to 2013. And they have been doing so since April 14th on an interim basis. They've been doing so satisfactorily. So a resolution is before you for your consideration.
Why did we leave them the last time?
I think we simply bid out the work, and I think we had done it, back, we do it every so often, and another company was selected, and then last year we selected another company, but that did not work out very well.
I was remembering some dissatisfaction with them, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, it wasn't that we just bid it out. There was some problems, and that's one of the reasons we bid it out, if I remember correctly.
You may be correct about that, sir. It was before I was here. Certainly, we're hopeful that it'll work out well this time.
Yeah.
The Parks and Rec for Hygiene's, is that for the new building or where they're currently at in the library?
That's for the library location. When the new building opens, we'd have to work with them on an alternative price.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Move to approve?
All in favor?
I just had one question. Is this going to be the same scope of work? Looking through the contract, it appears to be the same scope of work as what the other company was doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry.
Move to approve? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Number 16.
Award of contract, Fire Station Number 1 generator, resolution number 17035.
Eric.
Thank you, sir. I'll call on the Fire Chief, Gary Fisher.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is to replace the 40-year-old generator that we have at Fire Station 1. The generator at Fire Station 1 does not fully provides power to all of the parts of the fire station. It's getting to a point at 40 years old where we're concerned about its reliability and its ability to maintain power over an extended amount of time. It's a diesel-powered unit, and we're proposing to replace that unit with a natural gas unit that will provide power to the entire station. The current budget amount is $150,000, and the bid came in at $94,868. We had a pre-bid meeting. 12 vendors showed up to the pre-bid. Only one company bid on it. It is a local company, Yates Electric. We know that they have done good work for the city in the past, and so staff is recommending that we award the bid to Yates Electric. And at this point, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Fred?
Well, this is a memo from Pat Harver, so maybe I should address the question to him. And that is, in the memo, it says total expenses $101,523. My math doesn't come up with that expense that much. It comes up with a little bit more, I think.
Adding the engineering,
How did you arrive at that expense is what I'm asking.
the contract price and the engineering that was involved?
$94,868 plus $10,505. That's more than 101.
I think you're correct, sir. We apologize for the math there. I can give you the exact number if you like, unless you have it in front of you. So it's $105,373. So we apologize for that error, but that is considerably less than the budget amount, which was
Oh,
$150,000.
absolutely, but we can make an adjustment on that.
Uh,
We
If
we
you
can-
don't mind, the minutes will serve as that
Okay.
correction.
Do you, have you got any, is there any resale value on the old generator, or?
I would anticipate there would be some, but Pat might have some information on that. I think there, we put it up on the government side of the Purple Wave. I think there would be some value for it. The unit is 40 years old, so that, it wouldn't be a lot, but I think there would be some.
How many hours is on it? How many hours are on it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
You answered my question.
Have we got a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seventeen?
Renewal of contract with West Publishing Corporation for printed materials. Resolution number 17-037.
Eric?
Thanks, sir. I'll call on the city councilor, Tom Barzee.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as you'll recall, 2 weeks ago, you were here and you approved the Westlaw contract, which is the computer-assisted legal research. But we also have state statutes, 50, 60 volumes that are updated annually, new volumes come out, et cetera, as well as some other printed materials. And because we have the Westlaw contract, they always gave us a 50% discount on printed materials that we bought. That particular program is no longer available. However, the good news is they grandfathered us in with that, and since we're a government, it's actually even better. If you just paid the flat rate that you would pay in the private practice or whatever, the cost is $5,600 approximately a year. It's $2,800 if you got 50%, but if we pay at the rate of $122.54 a month, which is $1,470 annually, but by paying it by the month, we would only have to pay the $1,470, which is even half of, it's about a quarter of what the full price was. So I'm not the only one that uses those books. Those books are on the shelves and in the hallway. You've probably seen them many times. And so I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have any.
Don?
When you say grandfather, for this year or for?
No, and by the way, this will be for a 3-year contract and at that rate of $120.54.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 18.
Approving accounts due and payable by the city through April 28th, 2017. Bill number 7189, ordinance number 8986.
First reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing payment for certain accounts due and payable by the city through April 28th, 2017.
I move that bill number 7189 be placed on second and final reading and passes ordinance number 8986.
Second.
Call roll?
Councilmember Stefan?
Yes.
Councilmember Farr?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember DeLong?
Yes.
Councilmember Lodahl?
Yes.
Councilmember Pearman?
Yes.
Councilmember Sanders?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Clevenger?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Stewart?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing payment for certain accounts due and payable by the city through April 28th, 2017.
Okay, Mr. Eric.
Thank you, sir. Just a few staff comments before I call on Sarah Copeland to tell us a little bit more about a local government week program we're doing. First of all, we will have an intern joining us this summer. Her name is Stacy Weideman, and she is a graduate student at Indiana University. She's interested in pursuing a master's degree in public affairs and contacted us and asked us if we might have any opportunities. And we have developed a number of them, and we probably have more things for her to do than she'll be able to do in the summer. But she'll be beginning on May 15th, so we look forward to having her helping us out with some projects this summer. And you'll have the opportunity to meet her at some point, I'm sure. Just would note that I'll be attending the Missouri City County Management Association Summer Conference, begins tomorrow, continues until Friday, so I'll be out for a good part of the rest of this week. Would note that Pet Vaccination Day is this Saturday, May 6th, from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We are giving out free rabies shots for pets of North Kansas City residents and tags, and there's no charge for a tag if the pet is spayed or neutered, and $5 charge if the pet is unspayed or unneutered. So for anybody who has a pet, that's a good opportunity on Saturday. That's from 2 to 4. And then lastly, just would remind you that this year, the first Tuesday of July is July 4th, and so the council had previously indicated that we would meet instead on Wednesday, July 5th, and just remind you for that for your calendars. And at this point, I'd like to call in Sarah Copeland.
Good evening. So our communications team meets monthly, and probably back in March, Eric said, you know, Local Government Week is coming up in May, and I would really like to see you all put together some great events, programs as part of Local Government Week. And so one of the things that we discussed was having some of our great vehicles pull up in front of our council meeting tonight so that people could see our fancy fire trucks and police cars and Vector trucks and sweet streepers and get their hands on them. And one of the other things we talked about was just doing more to help people understand all of the things that we do as part of the local government. So we have this week, I thought they were pulled up, going out on our YouTube station. We have videos that Mallory Brown and Stephen Roberts have been putting together that describe some of the work that our departments do. The first one went up yesterday. It was about the fire station. I'm going to find it here so that we can play it for you. Are they on the desktop? Waiting for Stephen to come out and rescue me here. Here he comes. Here.
There he is.
Can I just click on this? Oh, too late.
It's Local Government Week. Let's see what's going on at the North Kansas City Fire Department.
Hi there. Everybody knows that firefighters fight fire, but what do we do when we're not fighting fire? Hey, at the fire department, we need to be prepared for emergencies so we can bomb some training. Every firefighter at the North Kansas City Fire Department is a minimum of an EMT, perhaps even a paramedic. And today, we're training on how to take care of someone whose heart has stopped. A firefighter's work schedule requires them to be here 24 hours a day. So we call this our firehouse. We live here, we sleep here, we eat here, and we're ready at a moment's notice to provide emergency care to someone who has a need for us. But this is our kitchen, and this is where we spend our time together as a group eating meals. Staying fit is an important part of being a firefighter. We have this facility on site to help meet that goal. Another function that we have here at the fire department is to maintain our equipment so that it's ready to go in a moment's notice. Here we are in the back of one of our ambulances. Ambulances are mobile intensive care units. We spend a lot of time preparing our equipment and our training to make sure that they are on the cutting edge. Thanks for taking the time to learn a little bit more about the North Kansas City Fire Department. We're 60 members responding to 2,000 emergency calls per year from 2 stations. We're dedicated to serving the public.
So that was video number 1 from the fire department. Mark Skeens was our host for that video and did a fantastic job. And then today's addition to this is for the police department. Yeah?
It's Local Government Week. We're at the North Kansas City Police Department with Major Freeman.
Thanks for joining us. Please follow along as we introduce some of the employees of the police department and what makes us so unique and special to our community.
We're here with Officer Daring of the traffic unit. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do every day?
Yeah, like you said, I work in the traffic unit. I primarily focus on enforcing the traffic laws, investigating traffic crashes, and the occasional DUI.
What do you like best about working for the city of North Kansas City?
Honestly, what I like best about the city of North Kansas City is that it's small enough to where I know everybody. There's a lot of camaraderie here. It's a great place to work. We're treated very well, and it's a good place to work and make friends.
I'm here with Detective Josephson of the Investigations Unit. Can you tell us a little bit about your job here?
Yes, we investigate all crimes for people and property. In here, we are in the evidence processing room. We just received a new TrueNarc, which tests narcotics and kind of tells us what the substance is. Pretty much it.
We're here in the North Kansas City Communications Center with Linda Alvarez. Linda, what's it like at a typical day as a dispatcher for North Kansas City?
Well, normally on an everyday occurrence, we usually take 911 calls, we answer the radio traffic. Sometimes it gets pretty busy during the day. We have a lot of people come in to our city during business hours, so it can get pretty busy. So it's most of our job. We also help the officers sometimes with part of the booking process when arrests are made. So it can get really busy in here sometimes.
What's your favorite part about North Kansas City?
I think the best part about working here is it's a smaller city, so you really get to know each other, all other employees from different departments as well. So it's a small community and works well.
Officer McElroy, why do you like being a police officer for the city of North Kansas City?
I like being a police officer for the city of North Kansas City because I believe we have a very strong working relationship with the community and all the business owners in the city. We respond to multiple alarms, and I know the business owners like that. Driving around the city, I believe we have a very good relationship with the public. A lot of friendly faces, a lot of people like to wave. We like to wave back. Just a good department to work for when it comes to a relationship with the community.
We're here with Officer Wells, who's processing evidence in a stolen auto. Officer Wells, what do you like best about working for North Kansas City?
North Kansas City has a great hometown feel. It literally is my hometown. I lived here and graduated from North Kansas City High School.
In addition to the daily tasks required to keep our city safe, the North Kansas City Police Department also has a special incident team trained to respond to high-risk situations. Here we can see the team training on entry techniques.
Hi, I'm Chief Steve Beamer of the North Kansas City Police Department. I want to thank you for spending a little time with us learning about our department and why this city is important to us. On behalf of the men and women who serve this city, including 34 officers, 9 dispatchers, and other civilian employees, we appreciate you taking some time with us. Have a good day.
So I think we can all agree, Emmy-worthy videos that we've put together. Tomorrow, the water plant is on tap to get their video put together. Thank you. So that'll go out tomorrow. And then I think the next one will be municipal services. And that will be our week of videos explaining some of the things that we do as part of the local government. So we are sharing these on our Facebook page, on our Twitter account. They're on our YouTube channel. So I think we'll be broadcasting them some on Channel 2, although I don't know when. And we hope that everybody enjoys getting a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at what people do all day.
I think that is absolutely excellent. That's what we need. That is something that's going to connect. If people will be able to have the equipment to look at it, it's going to be a wonderful thing for the city of North Kansas City. It puts people right in the place of where they're supposed to be to see what the departments are doing. I don't know whose idea this was exactly, but it's an excellent thing to do. I'm proud of it. It's very, it seems like it's rather spontaneous and unrehearsed. The guys and gals that you used were really good. Good job.
Yes, Stephen Roberts has done a lot of work on this, and Mallory Brown has helped him a lot with it too. So they've done a great job of putting it together.
Yeah, this is great. Is the admin gonna do anything?
No, I don't think we're scheduled. Maybe next year.
Okay.
Well, that concludes staff comments. But look for the next two videos over the course of the rest of the week.
That's great.
It,
Great. It was.
okay, let's see. Fred, are you first?
I just, a couple things. First of all, I want to express appreciation to the three members who were reappointed to the Parks and Recreation Board. Really appreciate their service. That's Andrea McMurtry, Charles Cash, and Pamela Tucker. Second thing is I was glad to see the cleaning contract awarded to a North Kansas City business, which brings me to the third thing, and that involved a North Kansas City business also. Really, they pay taxes, and they are getting a return. I really like that. Third thing is rather solemn, and that is on the Brandon Russell Flash Dash Run for Fun and 5K. It was a tragic incident that happened to him, and a lot of condolences go out to their family. Words just can't express the gravity of their loss. That's all I have.
Thank you, Fred. Tom?
Mr. Berlin, where are we at on our RFP or RFQ on the trash contract?
We're finalizing the wording on that and anticipate putting it out later this month.
I was going to say, because I went down to the recycling center last week. Both bins were filled, and Pat and them, I think, went down there, and there was recycling debris all over the outside of it. I mean, they're not even keeping up with keeping them empty.
One thing that we may want to talk to you about at some point here before the next contract is done is one problem that they have is that a lot of people are using them for trash rather than recycling, and that tends to fill those bins up, and that is an abuse, and so that's something we need to try to grasp with.
How do we stop that, though?
Well, I don't know of a good answer to that, but one answer might be that we remove them. If they're not being used for recycling, but are being used for trash, which is not an appropriate use, that's something that we might come to the council and ask for your direction on.
That's all.
Went out to the mural dedication. I think that looks great. Other than that, I did get the citizen survey in the mail after the last meeting, and completed that online. Didn't take very long, so if anyone else has one, get that completed. But other than that, that's it.
Okay, on June 6th, I will be in Mexico, so I'll be missing that meeting. And I wanted to say thank you to Parks and Rec for putting my son on their flyer for Family Field Day. And that's it.
I wanted to reiterate a thank you to Andy, Chuck, and Pam for their continued service on the Parks and Rec Board. They've done a lot of good work over the last couple of years. And also excited to see the kickoff of the Armor Road project and the brainstorming and discussions that are happening. I think that's very exciting. So it's a whole new phase, new project, as if you don't have enough. So great job. It's kicking off well.
My condolences again to Dr. Russell's family, and I know that was a hard thing for the department to get a hold of, and we really do feel badly about that whole situation. Congratulations to the park people, and I want to thank everybody that was able to attend the Gardens for ribbon cutting. There were some department heads there, and some Missouri State Legislature people were there. Some of my fellow council people were able to get there. It was a good time had by all. So thanks everybody that could show up on that. That's all.
A couple things just to reiterate what's already been said about thanking the Parks Board members that are reappointed for the next term. Hardworking board, as all of our boards are. So, very appreciative of their service. Also wanted to thank a couple of employees. One is Mallory Brown, who obviously her and Stephen did a great job with the videos. That's really a great, neat thing to put on the website. So that's really cool. But every time I call, if I've got a simple question, I'll call codes. If it's more complex, or community development, I should say. And if it's more complex, send it through Eric first. But she's always answering the phone and always willing to answer the questions. So she's a great asset to our agency, our government, as well as Chief Steve Beamer, same way. If I call him, got a question, he'll get me an answer, and I'll get it to a constituent. It may not be the exact answer that the constituent wanted, but I always get a correct and concise answer from Chief Beamer, and he's a straight shooter. So thank you, Chief, for that. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Reminder, North Kansas City Business Council sponsoring the Farmers Market. Starts this Friday. So looking forward to that. I'll be down there the next weekend. It'll be my Friday off, that next Friday. But looking forward to having the vendors back and getting some local produce. So if you need some produce or some beef or what have you, head on down to the Farmers Market there on Fridays from 7 a.m. till 1 p.m. I wanted to thank the Business Council for their event last night for the Royals game that some of us went to. It was a neat event, and so it was nice to get together with some of the local leaders of the business community in North Kansas City. And let's see here. Happy Government Week and Happy Older Americans Month as well. So glad that those are there. And speaking of Older Americans Month, that finishes my comments, so I'll turn it over to Rick Stewart.
Okay, thank you. And I am a senior citizen, I don't care. I also like to, my condolences goes out to Dr. Russell and his family. And that's number 14 that we approved in the consent agenda. For some of you who don't know, Dr. Russell's been our medical director for our EMS for how long, Mike? 30 years? 26 at least. So, he's like family to the fire and police. He's still outside. He was here tonight when we approved that, and he's still out there with his family. I got more complaints on the trash, but it may be resolved that they don't get the contract, but I'll pass it on anyway. And I witnessed it when people came to me and said, hey, he's doing this. I started watching NES. That truck he drives, he's a one-person thing. When he does my house, I'm on his right, so he does everything properly because that's the side he hooks the barrels to. But when he goes clear across the street to the neighbors, he'll mix both barrels and bring one barrel. And he's dumping recycle into the trash, what he's doing. It's because he don't want to drag two barrels around, I know. You might tell him we know that, Pat. I'm really heavy on recycling myself, so I didn't say anything to the man. I just pass it on to you, and you can pass it on to his bosses. I really don't want to see him get fired. I just want to see him quit doing it. And on the, what is it? The time on that adopt a pet thing.
From 2 to 4. It's not adopt a pet, but the vaccination.
Well, somewhere there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Somebody's having a adopt a pet.
City View's having
Our
an
city
adopt
clerk's
a
looking
pet.
that up. I apologize.
Yeah.
Everybody taking an oath not to tell my wife about that, please.
That's from 10 to 2.
Okay, and that's about it. I appreciate the staff bringing their equipment over here for the people to look at. I even like that new street sweeper. I wouldn't mind having one of them. I put a request in. I could drive a golf cart around. It was turned down by Chief Beamer. All right. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
I'm glad we picked some good-looking people to be on that video, you know, except, in the trash business, Jim's Disposal is a trash company, and they have built a transfer station out here at 291 and, 291 and 210. And they have expressed some interest that if anybody wants to go out and tour their recycle center, we could put something together and go out, or they said probably not this next week, but the week after would be something they could do. And
Wear some sloppy clothes, because that last one we went on until you really slip and slide in that grease out there.
Yeah.
It was bad news.
But anyway, that's all I got.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?